everybody. I'm so excited to be back. I missed you guys yesterday. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another Keeping Up with the Klee. Today we have a huge topic. We're going to talk about the health of the Alaskan Klee and pet insurance. Is it worth it? All that good stuff. So today we have an amazing rep from Trupanion here, and we're going to get him on in just a minute here. His name is Jacob, and we will introduce you, and he is going to have a lot of information, and he is going to answer all of your guys' questions. So before we get started, if you guys are new, please do me a favor and type new in the comments below so that we can welcome you. And of course, all of you guys that already know the rules, just skip past this. But we have a few rules, general housekeeping. If you guys can do me a favor and make sure that you put 3 question marks before. Can you turn this down? Put 3 question marks before you ask a question so that we don't miss your questions. And then do me a favor and hit that thumbs up. And keep your questions to the topic at hand. So we will open up our questions for other things once we finish talking with Jacob and Trupanion. But in the meantime, let's stick to everything. Oh, I see that. Okay, so I don't know who all knows this, but we are going to have Apache on the show here in a little bit, but Apache was recovering. He's home. Thank you for all of your guys' donations. But we do have a new what is that called, Lex? Oh, GoFundMe. We have a new GoFundMe that we set up for Apache and for Stacy to help with all of these vet bills. And so definitely we can get them some more super chat or super sticker money. If you guys don't know what that is, super chat and super sticker money is donations that you guys send over to us in our channel. It helps fund this wonderful show that we put on every week. And if you have a question, you can ask those questions when you send a super chat and a super sticker. And guess what? You jump to the top of the list, so you don't have to wait in line. All right, I'm not even going to go through any of that. Before we go any further, let's introduce Jacob.
Hey, thank you so much for having me on tonight. Super excited to be here talking about Trupanion and just pet insurance in general. Have a little presentation to kind of just go over what Trupanion offers, what pet insurance as a whole is all about. And then, yeah, love to stick around and answer any questions I could. So excited to be here once again and looking forward to it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you just want me to jump right into it?
Sure, go for it. I actually already pulled you over onto the other screen that you have shared.
Perfect. Yeah, so like I said, I'm from Trupanion. I work specifically on what we call our breeder team. So I'm out talking to breeders, working with breeders, and having them kind of introduce their new owners to Trupanion. But just to give you kind of an idea about pet insurance as a whole, last year was about a $2 billion industry. And nationwide, it's really not, pet insurance is kind of underrepresented. Only about 3% of pets in the U.S. have pet insurance. Whereas if you look at like Europe, it's up about 20%. It's growing really rapidly as vet costs continue to rise. And so it's exciting to see as more and more people realize that, hey, I want to be able to get the best care for all my fur babies. It's exciting. So just kind of moving on. So just kind of quick agenda, just a little bit of backstory about Trupanion, kind of what we offer, and then a couple of our signature things. And then kind of talk about a special offer that we have for partnered breeders with us, such as Kika's Klee. And then last but not least, definitely questions.
Awesome.
So just to give you an idea kind of started, 20 years ago, we were founded by Earl Rollins. When he was growing up, his pet Mitzi got bloat. They took her to the vet, and a very unfortunate story that happens all over the country happened to him. The vet came out and said, here's your vet bill. It's going to cost you this much. We can do it. And his parents said, it broke their heart to say we can't do it. And they walked away without Mitzi. So it's really heartbreaking to hear. So he kind of founded Trupanion with this in mind, that he wants to make sure this never happens to another family out there, and he wants to do everything in his power to make sure that every pet out there can get the best vet care possible, and never happens to an owner again.
Awesome.
And then just kind of some overview at Trupanion. So Trupanion really tries to keep it simple. We only have one plan. We pay out 90% after you meet your deductible, and we'll cover pretty much anything from a licensed veterinary office. So that's testing, surgery, hospital, supplements, orthopedic devices. You can kind of see it all up there. On a usual plan, we do have a couple waiting periods. Every pet insurance does. They just kind of want to make sure that you're getting it preemptively. You know, your dog doesn't get hurt and then you call. Same thing as like car insurance or anything like that. It also means no pet insurance will cover pre-existing. So that's why we really encourage everybody to go out and get insurance on their pet when it's as young and healthy as possible, and there's no pre-existing conditions, because then everything's covered and everybody's happy. Trupanion will cover any pets, or will enroll any pets under 14 years old, but we will cover any age of pet. So as long as you're enrolled before 14, we'll cover it until the end. And just as a side note, Trupanion does go US, Canada, and Puerto Rico. I don't know how international the viewers here are, but we will cover any of those.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And then just kind of going over a little bit more about us. So we don't have any breed exclusions. If you look around at some other pet insurers, they came out and said, you know, hip dysplasia is really common in German Shepherds. We're not going to cover it. And that just, to us, we said, well, that's why people would want insurance to begin with. So we don't have any breed exclusion. We also don't have any payout limits. A lot of the other pet insurance companies out there, you'll see have some payout limits, but we don't think that's right. We want to help with coverage no matter the amount. So we're in it till the end. We've seen vet bills for $80,000 and stepped in and paid 90% of those. So it can definitely get up there pretty high. And we also have this in place because we don't want people to think like, my vet insurance will cover option C, but I really love to get option A. You know, we don't want people to have to make that choice. So that's why we stick it with that no payout limits. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then again, no birthday pricing. Your price doesn't increase just because your pet turns another year. Trupanion hopes to cover your pet for the whole life of that pet. So you sometimes our rates do start a little bit higher, but I always say like go look at what they're charging for a 6-year-old, and that's what you're not going to be paying. So
Jacob, just to be clear, if they signed up for pet insurance at 8, 10, 12, even a year old, and they keep it, and their dog is now 8, 9, 10 years old, the price will not increase due to age.
Exactly. Yep. The price will not increase at all due to age. It might increase just kind of a little bit of a cost of living expense, but like I've had my cat with Trupanion for 5 years, and it's gone up $5. So it's really incremental. It's small, just little increases here and there. But there's nothing that says your puppy turns 2 and your rate goes up X%. We don't have anything like that.
Got it.
Yeah. And then we also do cover dental. So if your dog needs a tooth extraction, anything like that, any kind of dental work done, we'll step in and help out with that. And then another thing that we do offer is what we call our covering complimentary care rider. So we have our core policy, like I mentioned, but then on top of that, we also do have a rider people can add on, which covers a lot of like the recovery. So you're looking at like physical therapy, homeopathic type things, acupuncture, massage, things like that. And then that final point, and we do have a breeding rider. I'm just going to touch on that. I don't know how many breeders you have on here, but if you have any breeders, we will cover additional breeding expenses like an unexpected C-section. But yeah, we're just there for the unexpected is really kind of the gist of it. We want to step in and help when something goes wrong and something happens that you can't plan for.
Mm-hmm. I'll have to talk to you more a little bit on that breeder thing, but we'll cover that another time.
Definitely. And then kind of I would say our big signature is what we really aim to do is pay the vet directly. We have a Trupanion software that's installed in vet offices nationwide, thousands of vet offices nationwide. So at those vet offices, you actually walk in and say, hey, I'm with Trupanion. They'll put in your policy number, get you all set up. And then that way, right at checkout, they kind of input the claim. And we have an AI software that pays about 80% under a minute. So you just pay your portion and you walk out. Other places really are still stuck in the reimbursement model, which can still be really hard for people. Even if they know they're getting the money back, they still have to come up with the money up front, and they also don't know how much they're going to get back. It can be a confusing process for a lot of people.
And Jacob, how would they know if their veterinarian is already set up with Trupanion to accept those payments automatically? Would they just ask them?
That's a great question. Yeah, so you can always ask your vet, and then also online, if you're saying I really want to go with a vet that you can go under our website and pull down a list of sorted by state, and then look at your city and look at the vet offices there that have Trupanion.
Perfect.
And we will cover invoices from any vet as long as they're licensed veterinary office. It's not like these are the only vets we work with, but these are just kind of our preferred. And then outside of that, we'll accept invoices and just do reimbursement on any other vet offices nationwide.
So if it's $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 and we can't afford that, as long as you're with the vet that's already set up with you, you'll pay them directly, and the owner just pays their deductible.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect.
So can really make things a lot easier. And then just another thing that we really pride ourselves on is that we're available 24/7. We know that pets don't get sick on any kind of schedule. Anything can happen at 2 a.m. So we're still here. We have claimed members all night doing pre-approvals, emergency pre-approvals. So we'll tell you, if you get a quote from your vet at 2 a.m., here's what you can expect to pay based on this quote, and we'll get it back over to you. And it also means, if you have questions, 2 a.m., 3 a.m. on Christmas morning, we have people here supporting you, working for you.
Wonderful.
And then this is just a quick example. So this is a little French bulldog down in California, had ate something, had an inner ear infection, also some airway problems, and we paid out about $18,000 total to help out this little guy.
Wow.
So yeah. And then this is a little bit more of a Klee specific claims. So these are just kind of the 5 most frequent claims that we've seen from a Klee. Just pulled this information and then average claim amount. So you can see some of them are getting up there, especially that broken tooth is not going to be cheap. Eating something, you're looking at almost like $600. I have a puppy at home, and I know that he loves to try and eat socks. So we're always trying to pull those out of his mouth. And then just that bottom one was just kind of looking at the largest claim that we saw last year for an Alaskan Klee. And we paid out about $8,500 for a little nasal tumor. So overall, you can see that vet bills can get up there pretty quick. I think we hear a lot from owners that don't quite realize how expensive vet bills can be and how fast they can get so expensive.
Right.
So, and then this is just a little thing I was going to touch on. So as I mentioned, Kika's Klee is a special partner of ours. So we have breeder partners across the nation, and we provide them with a special offer. So each breeder has a specific code tied to their kennel that she can provide. And then with that code, you would call in and you actually get like 30 days of insurance at no cost and with no waiting periods. So it's kind of like a nice introductory way to try out Trupanion. Gives you 30 days to focus on it. If anything comes up in those 30 days, then you're covered. And I think you wanted to mention something that just came up.
We'll go over that at the end. A lot of them do know about the situation, but yeah, definitely something that's would have been very beneficial.
Definitely. So it's a great thing, and then also it lowers that chances of, like I mentioned, pre-existing conditions. If you're starting your policy right at 8 weeks, you don't even have waiting periods. So we all know that the puppy's going home healthy from the breeder. So pretty much everything would be covered. And just on a quick side note, it does have to be activated within 24 hours of getting your puppy. So you do it day before adoption, day of adoption, or day after.
So they could actually go in or call you guys and activate it the day before they pick up.
Yep, exactly. Okay. So we really encourage that, as we know, once somebody gets a new puppy in their home, they get pretty distracted and can forget things. So having it just set up the day before can really help encourage people to do that.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And then just last slide here. I think you can put it back over to the puppies is really what everyone wants to see. And that's my little guy,
okay.
Red. He's a 11-month-old miniature Australian Shepherd. So taking a little nap.
Let's see. There we go. And then you said one more thing?
I don't think so. I think that was all I had for you.
Okay, perfect. Then I have some questions already piling up. So the first one that I have, Laura's asking, does the pet need to be in your possession before you get your policy, or can I buy it now for a puppy that I pick up in 2 weeks, and therefore the waiting period is over when she's in my possession?
Nope, you do have...
I'll let you answer.
I was going to say, no, you do have to have the puppy in your possession. So there's kind of two things you can do to waive the waiting periods. One would be if you're getting from one of our breeder partners, you can use that code and that'll waive all the waiting periods. The other thing is we do have what we call an exam day offer. It's similar to the go home day offer that I mentioned that breeders have, but it's kind of based on a vet visit. So next time when you pick up your puppy and you take him to the vet, if the breeder doesn't give you that code, just after you take the puppy to the vet, give us a call right away. And we'll talk you through that, and we'll waive all the waiting periods because we know your pet's healthy. It just came from the vet. It just got seen. We'll waive the waiting periods, and then you also get 30 days of coverage.
Got it. Okay, and so the next question is from Emily. Does Trupanion cover standard vet visits, or does it have a list of vets that you can use, like a PPO, to get that you can choose from?
Gotcha. We will not cover standard vet visits. We consider those kind of an expected cost. When you get a puppy, the cost of, a vaccine, spay, neuter, those kinds of things. What we really aim to help with is when there's an unexpected cost. So when that puppy eats something, the puppy hurts its shoulder, the puppy gets sick, anything like that, we'll definitely step in and help with. But the standard vet visits or wellness checks, we don't cover those.
Got it. I'm going to add you in here, maybe not. I was trying to make you small. I don't know how to do it, Lux. I don't run the show normally. My daughter does. So, the whole thing just went.
Yeah. We're getting wild.
Yeah, there. See, she knows how to do this stuff. I don't.
There we go.
That way they could see you too.
Perfect.
Okay, perfect. That's fine. We could just cover. You could find. That's fine. All right. Let's see. I know I'll have some questions, but let's see what other people have here. All right, Sandy, if you pay a claim like a broken tooth and they break a tooth again, is it still covered? So that's a great question, because I know we talked about this the other day. I'll let you go with it, but I know that you said something about the deductible.
Yeah, definitely. That actually brings up a great point. It definitely would be covered again. As many times as it happens, we'll cover it. There's no limit as far as payout or injuries happening, anything like that. Each time it happens, we'll step in and help out the costs. That does bring up a great point that you mentioned. Our deductible is a little bit different. It's not what we call like a standard annual deductible like you're used to with human health insurance. We have what we call a per life or per condition lifetime deductible. So like, let's say your dog comes down with allergies. Once you meet that deductible for allergies and any allergy-related symptoms, you'll never have to pay that deductible again for the life of your pet. So, instead of paying, let's say, a $250 deductible every year, that would just be covered for the rest of the pet's life with any allergy-related issues.
So really one time per condition for the life of the pet.
Exactly. Yep.
So if it broke the same tooth again, they wouldn't have to pay another deductible.
I don't believe so. No, I think it'd still be the same condition exactly.
Okay, perfect. That's awesome. All right. So I'm not sure if you are familiar with Factor 7, Jacob, but if you aren't, I can explain that. But Lauren's asking if a dog has a pre-existing genetic condition like Factor 7, would you accept the dog? Factor 7 is a bleeding disorder where they don't clot. And so her dog might have that. So I think she wants to know if you would accept the dog. I'm guessing you would accept the dog, you just wouldn't cover that disease.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we would accept the dog. We would just make a note on the policy that anything related to the Factor 7 would not be covered.
And so do you... Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, because it's deemed a pre-existing condition.
Okay, perfect. So if they knew of this and they made you aware, do you guys increase the rates based on any other conditions that they have, or that has nothing to do with it? Is it strictly just the age and the breed?
Yep, it's just age, breed, zip code, those kinds of things. Nothing to do with the health of the dog affects the rates.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not even, we don't even collect that information upon enrollment.
Okay, got it. So another person was asking, what's Trupanion's policy regarding pre-existing conditions? Obviously, you kind of covered that, but can you explain a little bit more?
Yeah, it was. So no pet insurance company out there will cover pre-existing conditions. Just in general, we only deem pre-existing conditions as showing signs or symptoms pre-policy. This means with genetic conditions, as long as there's no signs or symptoms pre-policy, then they're covered. So like hip dysplasia, a lot of dogs are born with hip dysplasia, but it might not show up until they're 1 or 2. So if they're enrolled before there's any signs of that hip dysplasia, we would cover the hip dysplasia surgery, any treatment for it, any recovery, everything like that. Whereas some are saying, nope, genetic, it's already in the dog. We go off what we call the signs and symptoms.
Got it. Hopefully that answers your question, Kelly. All right, let's see. Another question. Tamara is asking, how can you take advantage with the 24-hour offer? We tried to call Trupanion right after we got our puppy, scheduled a call back, and we haven't heard back 9 days after getting her.
That's not good, but we'd love to get you signed up. We record all our calls, so we will have notes that you called us. I don't know if you have a way to directly message Desiree.
Yeah, she does.
or if she could, and provide your information, and I'll get connected with you, and we'll make sure you can get signed up. Because we don't like that.
Perfect. Okay. Another person I'm sure was asking the same thing, if you cover wellness plans. So Trupanion doesn't cover wellness checkups, vaccines, that type of thing, because they are I'll let you answer. I always take the show.
No, you're fine. I like it. We don't cover wellness plans. We just consider these an expected cost. If you kind of look at a lot of those wellness plans too, you kind of think through it, there's no way they're making money if they know all the expected costs. If they're saying we're going to pay $50 for a spay neuter, you have to, just the rationale behind it, it's really weird. And a lot of times to get any money back, or a significant amount of money back on those, you have to work really within certain bounds and limits. So we just stick to the unexpected. We think that's where pet owners really need the most assistance. And that's where we can really step in and help them out.
Mm-hmm. Lindsay's asking, you said you pay 90% after you meet the deductible. What is the deductible?
Great question. So on that 30-day trial, it is a $250 deductible. After that, you can set your deductible at anywhere from $0 to $1,000. Adjusting your deductible will kind of adjust your monthly premium, so you can kind of balance between the two depending on exactly what meets your finances. You can always you can always raise your deductible at any point, and you can lower your deductible within the first 30 days of signing up with us. So you still can kind of think about it, and then if at some point you want to raise it, you're definitely welcome to.
Good to know. Okay, Lauren, do you have any yearly fees at the end of the year?
Nope, we don't. We do have a $35 coverage summary fee. So when you sign up with us, there's a $35 flat fee. And what this does is we go out and we collect all the records for your pet right when they sign up with us. So this way we can establish something that tells you exactly what conditions are pre-existing, or even better yet, that you don't have any pre-existing conditions, and it just makes claims go a lot faster and everything else, because we already know exactly any issues or anything, or if we say everything's covered, go ahead and pay the bills.
Mm-hmm. So Tamara is asking, what is the monthly premium? And I realize that probably fluctuates a lot, but with the Alaskan Klee, can you give a couple examples? Like if somebody signed up for, a $250 versus $1,000 deductible on an 8-week-old puppy, can you give us an idea at what that is? Or do we all have to go hop onto your website and test it?
It is tough. I like to say premiums are usually in about the $60 to $80 a month in general. You will see lower than this, you will see higher, but that's a good mid-range. And then, like I said, with that deductible, you can changing the deductible will change it significantly. So within that deductible, you can really find something that works. But $60 to $80 is kind of the general area you're looking at.
Got it.
Outside of that, unfortunately, you would have to jump on our website and try and punch it in.
And that's because of the zip code has to do something with your calculation, and then of course the age of the pet as well.
Exactly, yeah. Because the zip code makes a big difference. Manhattan has higher vet bills than like other places out there, just because vets are more expensive there, and so we have to charge a little bit more.
Sure.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so Tanya's wanting to know, is there any emergency that you won't cover?
As long as it's not a pre-existing condition, then we will cover it. There's no other emergencies we won't cover.
Awesome. So 2 questions in one.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Keep going.
Okay. Let's
Don't
see.
You skipped.
Huh?
Go back up.
I know. I see it right here.
Nope. Go back up.
My kid's telling me what to do.
Because you don't do this. You're missing.
Do you still reimburse claims from vets that don't have your software, which you did talk about?
Yep. Absolutely.
So they would go online to do that, or how would they submit those claims? Is there an app?
Yep, we do have a recent app just as a couple months ago, and they just go on there and submit a picture of the invoice, and that's it. That's all they need to do, and we'll process the claim from there.
And do you have an idea how long those claims take normally?
I think I don't want to say anything. I know that we process about 50% of claims in under 24 hours because we're using that same software that's running in our running with our software to process claims as quickly as possible. I know that we try and process all claims within about a week, but that's kind of our backstop. Most claims are processed within about 24 hours.
No, that'd be nice.
She's running the playpen tonight.
Yeah, she is. She thinks she should have every bone. Okay, let's see who else we have. Emily's asking, do you have to select from the list of vets like an HMO, or choose any like a PPO?
So it is any vet, just some we have preferred relationship with, but as long as it's a licensed vet office, we will accept an invoice from them.
Okay, so say that something happens and they end up at a specialist. They don't have to go see their primary vet first and get authorization to go to the specialist. If they know they need to go to a certain place, they just go there.
Yep, absolutely. We're not here to dictate care. That's on such an individual level that we just put that into your hands. We're just here to help and support you. So if you think you need to go see a specialist, go see a specialist and we'll help with those costs.
Mm-hmm. Got it. So this was good. I'm just going to share it. So Liz had answered Tamara as well and said it depends on the deductible. She has Trupanion, and she said that her monthly is $63, but her deductible is $700. So that's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, it gives you an idea.
Yeah. Lauren is asking, so in the case of factor 7, I would pay for any blood transfusions needed.
Yeah, because that would be tied to the factor 7. Um, is the forgive me for my lack of knowledge. Are puppies born with factor 7 then, or does it kind of come out a couple weeks down the line?
Yeah, no problem. So factor 7 came out several years ago for the Alaskan Klee. Since then, I would say it's probably been 13 or 14 years. But since then, most breeders, I'm assuming all breeders now, have weeded that out of our programs as soon as we knew, and we got the testing for it through VetGen and UC Davis. So hopefully nobody is producing that now. Lauren has a Klee that was having some issues, and then she ended up getting it tested and found out that it does have factor 7. So that is something that she wasn't aware of at the time. And so it can probably, still happen, especially newer breeders that may get involved who don't have the right mentor or don't know about it, and then end up getting a dog. Or some people are breeding Klee when they're not supposed to be breeding Klee. There's all of those chances for sure that it can still pop up. And so Emily's asking, she said that, or you said that the breed influences cost. So are Klee higher cost because they're crazies?
I don't know, because English Bulldogs are pretty chill and they have some of the highest cost. So more has to do with kind of the health. I apologize, I can't speak directly to the Klee but if they tend to be, a healthier type of breed, costs tend to be lower. Some of the like smush face dogs, where you are seeing higher costs, are obviously going to have higher vet bills, which means higher Trupanion costs. It's kind of one way to think about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So Kimberly is asking, what's the 24-hour offer? I'll go ahead and answer that one. So Trupanion has partnered with a bunch of breeders, and so they have partnered with us for some time now. And I always give out the paperwork that they send us, pamphlets, all this stuff, but never, well, I won't say never. For the longest time, I wasn't giving out the right paper. And so I wasn't handing out this 24-hour, 30-day thing to get your puppies covered. So I don't know who you're getting your puppy from, or if you are even getting a Klee, but we are set up so that now anybody who gets a puppy from us can sign up for free for the first 30 days as a trial, basically, with a code that comes from us specifically. And so it has to be within 24 hours from getting the puppy. So you could do it the day before, the day of, or the day after. And I think I got that right. Right, Jacob?
Absolutely. We're hiring as well if you want to come jump on our team.
Yeah. I don't even have enough time in the day now. All right, let's see. So Kelly's asking, she says the ASPCA Pet Insurance offers pre-existing conditions if they haven't been symptoms for 180 days. So like bladder stones. So just want to confirm this would never be covered. So if the dog had bladder stones before.
Yeah. So I mean, we make a concerted effort to pay vet bills. We want to do that. That's something we tell our claims agents. So if we can look at it and say, hey, this puppy had a similar example would be like a heart murmur. A lot of puppies have heart murmurs. They go away for a couple of years, and let's say 6 years down the line, there's no heart murmur. Or 6 years down the line, they have an issue with their heart. This is probably going to be covered because there's time in between to show that they're unrelated. The puppy had multiple checks of healthy heart, and it'd be a similar thing with the black ones. And so if there's time in between where it's shown that the puppy's healthy, or the dog's healthy, everything's going well, then there's a chance we can cover it. I can't specifically say yes or no. It's just kind of on a case-by-case basis. I think we try and collect vet records for 18 months back if possible. So if it's older than 18 months, then if there's nothing on your last 18 months vet bills, then that would definitely not be a pre-existing condition. But outside of that, I can't say specifically.
Got it. That makes sense. Yes, Jennifer. I was just saying this the other day. She said Nala's in a mood. She must be pregnant. We're hoping she's pregnant, but we don't like her mood. She's grumpy. Okay, so let's see. So if Trupanion does, so I consider switching, but I guess not.
Let me read the ones with the question mark.
I know. I forget. She only wants me to read question marks. So does it mean that since I live in Malibu, my premium is higher?
I don't know on a city by city basis what's higher, but knowing the, Malibu that I've seen personally in movies, it might be a little bit higher. But again, you can go onto our website and fill out and get a quote super easily. You don't even need to call in. You can do it all online and pricing. And then we have a little slider and you can just adjust it to set your deductible and look at different pricing. So it's real simple to go online and get a quote.
Perfect. You guys can do that and check it out. So Laura is saying she's picking up her Alaskan Klee later this month, but not from Kika's just because I couldn't get on her wait list. Can I still use Desiree's breeder code? What is the code?
Unfortunately not. Every breeder does have their own code. What I can tell you to do, though, is email your breeder and tell them to get into our program. It's very simple to sign up. There's no cost for the breeders. So they can go onto our website and just fill out a simple application, reach out and get them signed up, get them set up with their own code, or they might already be signed up and even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, good point. So if you guys are on here and you're not getting a puppy from us, which I understand because we have a pretty long list and it's closed at this point, but reach out to the people that you are talking to and see if they are signed up with Trupanion and if they have any of those offers.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so Alex is asking if my dog was diagnosed with 2 conditions. With my dog that tends to go together, is the deductible doubled? I'm sorry if this was discussed earlier.
Sorry, I don't quite understand the question.
I know. Let's see. If my dog was diagnosed with 2 conditions, with my dog that tends to go together. So they were diagnosed with 2 conditions that go together. Is the deductible doubled? So if they pretty much go hand in hand, is it a deductible for each thing that goes hand in hand? And sorry if this was discussed, but does it cover medications for life as well?
So as far as the deductible goes, we go per condition. So if they're seen as separate conditions, the deductible would have to be met twice. But if they're correlated conditions, one causes the other, I can't think of anything. Then, let's say for example, a puppy gets a cut on their paw. There's a deductible for that. The cut gets infected. That deductible is already met. So if they're kind of stacking, then that deductible only has to be met once. But if they are truly, a puppy gets a cut and a puppy gets Giardia, those are separate. The deductible would have to be met twice. And then as far as medications, yep, we'll cover medications for as long as a vet keeps prescribing them.
Mm-hmm. This is not a question, but I'm just sharing it because Kelly is just saying that it's so worth it, which is good for her to hear, or other people to hear, that the rare nasal tumor. That's interesting. She had a dog that had a nasal tumor, but it wasn't a Klee, I don't think. But that's good to know. All right, Lily says, how much do Alaskan Klee cost and do you sell puppies? Okay, we'll answer that at the end. We're going to just stick with these questions for now. Let's get through this part. Let's see. I got quoted $90 a month. Would it cover x-rays, labs, medicine, etc.?
Yep, absolutely. Any type of diagnostic, treatment, medication, anything that when you walk into the vet's office to whatever they prescribe, whatever they diagnose, anything like that would all be covered.
Mm-hmm. Joseph has a really good question. So if I get coverage in an area and then move to an expensive area, will my rate change?
Yep, it is based on where you live at the moment, wherever that vet, whatever vet your puppy is seeing. You know, if you're traveling and go to a vet, that's one thing. But if you move, it's based on where you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Sue was letting us know that the other person that was saying about the two different things that go hand in hand, so diabetes and Cushing's. So that's probably why he was asking.
Oh, okay.
And so one more question. Would you recommend a dog be on a wellness plan and an insurance plan?
This is a little tricky. I can't give you recommendations. Your care is your decision. Personally, I don't have my dog on a wellness plan. I think a lot of times you don't end up getting as much money back as you think you're going to get once you start really looking at all the different ways that they try and make you get certain things, and they give you $X for this, X amount of dollars for that. I do know, however, some of the hospital-specific ones work out really well. We've heard good things about the Banfield one. I think they have a new puppy one where you get unlimited visits and things like that to help with the vaccine. Those ones I think are really something worth looking into. But the ones offered through general companies that maybe aren't a hospital or something like that, that'll just reimburse you for expenses, I think tend to not work out as well. And then, I always recommend having insurance on your dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I agree. Okay.
There's another one that just popped up.
There is?
Yeah, that one's late.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why is that a question? Sorry, Lauren. Yes, that's the one. Mine is on now. I'm not sure.
I think she means Banfield.
Oh, got it. Yeah, you're right. The form my breeder gave me for Trupanion says the pre-existing conditions that show symptoms 18 months before enrollment. So that would mean that my pup might not be covered, ?
I don't quite get the question. Because if you got the form from your breeder and used it, it'd be an 8-week-old puppy. So it would just be if anything happened while it was in the breeder's care. Everything else would be covered.
Mm-hmm.
Is that answering it? I'm not quite sure.
I think so. If it's not, Kimberly, you can jump back on there and ask another question or help clarify.
Yeah.
Sue is saying, I had 2 pups and had them on the wellness plans with another company and broke even. Really wasn't worth it. So, of course, yeah, and I mean, it's just like buying a warranty when you get a new refrigerator or a new TV, right? There's those times that you won't use it, and then there's those times when you wished that you would have bought it. So, you know, it's just a gamble. Some people are financially set and they'll just let it ride. Some of us are not. Let's see. All right, Judy is asking, I have an older dog and a Klee puppy. I recommend talking directly to a representative to get a customized quote. My cost for both dogs was lower than what I would have selected off of the website. Is that something that you recommend or that they could do? Is that true with Trupanion?
It might be true just because they get the breed or something a little bit more correct. I'm not exactly sure. It should be the exact same. There's no reason. It's not like talking to a representative, they'll get you a discount or anything. I definitely do recommend calling in because you're going to get a lot more personalized information. They can talk you through everything, and they might just be able to I'm not exactly sure, honestly, why the quote would be different.
Okay.
But I'm glad to hear it worked out.
Yeah. So I do have a question with regards to that.
Yeah.
If you have multiple pets, 2 dogs or a dog and a cat, do you offer a discount for the second pet, or is there any way they could save? Like, how about AAA? Will that help them?
Yeah. No, we don't have anything like that quite yet. I know it's something that's been put on the table. The only thing that would be waived is that $35 sign-up fee, is just for your first pet. So after that, you don't have to pay that again.
Okay. All right, so Kimberly's back. She said pre-existing condition that show symptoms in 18 months before enrollment or during waiting period. So how does that work for my pup? My breeder didn't provide me with an offer code.
So as long, it's kind of, I guess I'm not quite understanding. Because
The first
as
part
long as it,
is the definition of
yeah,
pre-existing
yeah,
condition.
that's
Yeah.
on there. But as long as it's not showing up anywhere beforehand, it's not like you have to wait 18 months and then you can enroll. That just means if you're 3, we would look back as far as a year and a half. But if your puppy's only 1, then we just look at all the records present. And then there's obviously, we have 5-day for injury, 30-day for illness waiting periods once you enroll with us. And then, like I mentioned earlier, you go to the vet, you can get those waiting periods waived if you call us within 24 hours after.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Catherine
This one's not for you, but no, Linda, that's not Taz. That's River in the bed.
Catherine answered it.
Oh, she did. Well, I wanted to answer it. Thank you, Catherine. Okay, so Kimberly was just saying that she was quoting what she says. So basically, if your puppy is only 3 months old, of course they can't go back 18 months. And if you didn't sign up whenever your breeder suggested it, or they didn't give you a code, then you do have a waiting period.
Exactly.
Yeah, River's changing colors. So Carolyn's asking if Heartgard and Brevecto's covered, which it's not, correct?
I'm not sure I've never heard of those.
So Heartgard is to prevent or protect them from heartworm. I think Brevecto actually is for heartworm too, but it's also for like flea, tick, that type of thing.
They would be covered if for some reason your vet recommended them or like prescribed them, but if they were just preventative, they would not be.
So preventative is not covered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless, it was again something that your vet said for
Yeah.
whatever reason. Likely would them started, or I don't know, but yeah, something
Got
like
it.
that.
I'm gonna switch gears for them for a second. Oh, look at that, guys! It's the babies. Except they're way over there. Look at them. They're dreaming. You guys see them dreaming? I knew you guys would get excited. Except they're sleeping. They're not moving. All right. So I'll switch it back now. The babies. Of course, we'll get them out here in a little bit. All right. Let's see. I know my crew is asleep. This is nice. I thought River was going to be screaming. Okay, so I think what we can do is if you want to stay on, Jacob, you can. If you don't, I'm going to run through, unless anybody else has more questions for him, but I'm going to run through some of the health issues, concerns that we see as a breed as a whole. And then after that, we're going to go over what happened with Apache. Or maybe we should, well, I want to wait because I don't know if you guys know, but Stacy and Apache are going to come on here hopefully soon because she got off of work at 6:30. So as soon as she hops on, then we're going to be able to see him. Oh my God, they almost knocked over the camera. So I'll wait on that, but we're going to go over some health things. So if you guys can do me a favor and make sure you tell Jacob, thank you. We appreciate you, but you're more than welcome to stay on here and answer some more questions as they come, or if you are like, I don't want to get out. Oh, here, of course, we're
I
getting
might stick
another
around
question.
for.
Perfect.
I might
Perfect.
stick around 15, 20 minutes, and you can call on me. You can tap me back in if a question comes up.
Yeah, perfect. Linda is asking if I've ever had a Klee that's developed breast cancer. And in fact, I have had one. In fact, it is Nala's mother, which was why Nala was so important for us to keep. So yes, one time. That's the only cancer that I've ever had in almost 19 years. One time. But it's there. Okay, so with regards to health, we're going to move along. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything. So as far as the most common health issues that we have seen in the Alaskan Klee, I reached out to ACAOA, which is the Alaskan Klee Association of America. So that's like our breed club, and they've been around since the beginning of time, and asked them for a couple of reports of what is being reported back to them. Of course, I know what I see, but that doesn't give me a really big a full picture, because I'm only one person. So I asked them, they came up with a list and sent it over to me. So these are in order of what was reported. So keep in mind, if somebody doesn't report it to the breed club, or if they don't report it to the breeder and the breeder doesn't report it to the breed club, then these numbers could be way off. But this is what was reported. And the first thing, the most that was reported was cryptorchid, and so that is retained testicles with boys. It could be one or both, and so a lot of times they'll be stuck up there, and we'll go over a lot more in detail in just a minute, but I just want to go real quick on what they are. The second most commonly reported was watery eyes or blocked tear ducts, and I'm wondering if, what is that? Can I close that? Oh, sorry. I was trying to figure out if Stacy was calling in. So watery eyes, we talk about that a lot. You guys always talk about, how do you get rid of tear stains, that type of thing. So, so Jacob, I have a question for you with regards to watery eyes, since it is a pretty common thing. Do you see that? It would be covered? Like, what if they had a clogged tear duct or ingrown eyelashes, that type of thing? Would that type of situation be covered?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It would definitely be covered. It's just it would just be like any other condition. We consider it kind of the same as if the puppy got hurt playing or anything like that. Just be general condition, and we'd step in and help it out. So
awesome.
Anything where you take your puppy to the vet, we would step in and help out with those costs.
Wonderful. Okay. So the third most reported was patella luxation, which in some cases does require surgery. So we'll go over that here in a little bit. Fourth was reproduction problems. So of course, breeders, we always got problems. Fifth was pancreatitis or gastrointestinal problems. 6 was hypo or hyperthyroidism. 7 was liver or kidney disease. 8, allergies, skin, coat issues, all related to skin and coat and the environment, I suppose, food, allergies, all that good stuff. And then the 9th most commonly reported was cardiac. So PDA or MVDs were the 9th most commonly reported. So what exactly do these things mean? And I know, so you guys may know some of this, you may not know some of it, so I'm just going to run through it real fast. Of course, this will all be on a replay, so you guys can always pause it and read through it later. So I don't want to go into too much detail because I know you guys want to see puppies and go on to other things. So cryptorchid, like I said, they could have one or both of them retained, and so they're up in the abdomen. Sometimes they really have to hunt and peck to find them, but something that's super important is that there's complications with this with regards to not getting your dogs neutered, because they can actually twist up into themselves. And then there's another problem. They could actually have a lot of pain, and they can have cancer from that testicle that's stuck up inside their abdomen, because the body is going to start to attack that item because it thinks it's a foreign object. So you want to keep those in mind. This is very common in this breed, which obviously it's the first one, which was not a surprise to me because it is pretty common. And if you guys have been around for a while, you know we couldn't keep Taz because he didn't have his testicles. It's happened more times than not. So that was the first one. Second is the watery eyes. So the watery, teary eyes causes tear staining sometimes, and so a lot of times that's inflammation in your dog's eye. And there's a wide range of reasons that this could be. So it could be conjunctivitis, it could be allergies, it could be birth defects, it could be clogged tear ducts, it could be foreign item in there, dry eyes, ingrown ear lashes. That's new. Ingrown eyelashes. When I first got involved with the Klee, I had a couple of dogs that actually had ingrown eyelashes. You'd be surprised. They grow the wrong way up inside, and then they bug your guys' poor little eyes when they're blinking, and then their eyes are watery. So if that is the case, then you can get those plucked out. Sometimes they grow back the exact same way. Sometimes it gets rid of it. So watery eyes, very common. And then patella luxation. And so patella luxation, I would say is pretty common as well in small dogs. So of course these guys are pretty small, where you're gonna see more hip dysplasia in bigger, older dogs that weigh a lot more. These guys are usually 10 to 25 pounds. So you're going to usually see more knee problems. And what that is that it's their back leg, and it will come in and out of the kneecap will come in and out of socket. And so when they're moving, what will happen is if they're moving and it does want to pop out, you'll see them as they're running, they're going to kick their leg out, and they're kicking that leg out to try to pop it back into the socket. And sometimes it can happen in both legs. And sometimes it has to have surgery because it's pretty bad and it won't stay in. So they grade them like 1 through 4, and 4 being the worst. And so usually a 3 or 4, they're going to recommend a surgery. I can tell you patella surgery can be anywhere from, depends where you live, but it could be anywhere from like $1,200 to $3,000 for patella surgery. And it's there for sure. So reproduction problems, of course, you guys really shouldn't have to worry too much about this, but there's false pregnancies, difficulty in having birth, and C-sections, mastitis, where they have all this inflammation on their breasts. Pyometria is a infection of the uterus. A lot of times the dog will have to be spayed from that. A detached placenta, cryptorchid, all blah blah, a lot of stuff. But that was the 4th most common. So pancreatitis and gastrointestinal issues. This is pretty common too. I say pretty common because, like, if you think about what we see in our breed, like, there's not a whole lot that is life-threatening or something to be very, very concerned about. We're going to get the occasional this or that, but we don't have anything that I would say, oh, Klee are prone for this, and it happens 20, 30, 40% of the time. In the amount of years I've been breeding, I will say my health concerns are less than 5%, although 2021 is not starting off great, but we'll see. So pancreatitis is where their intestines are inflamed, and so it's all irritated and they have a hard time eating things, they're throwing up, and they just don't feel well. And a lot of this is caused from high fat foods. So some of the food that we're feeding that is dog food, but a lot of it has to do with human food, junk stuff they get from the floor, all the good stuff we like to just give our dog at the dinner table, like my son does. So it's just not good for them. So you keep that in mind. Thyroid. And of course, this is what we're going to be talking about with a little Apache here in a minute. So thyroid has been around since I have been involved. I'm sure it's been around since the beginning. And there's a couple of different kinds. So there's hyper and hypo. And so some of them I think they had said it's like 95% of thyroid conditions in dogs happen from those two reasons, either lymphomatic, I think, and idiopathic. And so those are the most common. What we're dealing with Apache is less than 5% of all dogs. So it's pretty rare situation. But thyroid has to do with your glands and your hormones. And so I can't remember the stuff. I have to read up on it. But thyroid is something that is kind of common in dogs in general. And most of the time, they aren't diagnosed till they're like 3 or 4 or 5 years old. And it's a simple pill. It's a pretty inexpensive pill too. But if you catch it in time, then it's just monitoring and making sure if they get, more overweight or underweight that you adjust that medication. But otherwise, it will keep them pretty steady and they won't have any long-term effects. Next on the list was liver or kidney disease. And I have seen a few. Not kidney. Oh, yeah, kidney. I've seen one kidney. Probably 2 or 3. Yeah, at least 3, I think. Liver problems, liver shunts. And so there are a lot of things that can be popping up. I have heard of a few Klee that have had Addison's. And I think that has to do with liver and kidneys as well. But I'm going to let you guys read through all of this. A lot of liver diseases is congenital. It's all conditions that they're born with. So liver shunts they're born with, where they have all of these little veins that are wrapped all around. Oh, guess what? Stacy's calling us. We're going to get her on. She's in the guest room. All right. Hopefully she can hear me. She can hear, right? Hold on, Stace. We're going to finish this up and then I'll bring you on. All right. And then heart is next. So cardiac problems. There's a couple that are pretty common in dogs in general. A PDA, and I'm not even going to try to say these words, but a PDA and an NVD. Those are the 2 most common in dogs in general. And yes, we have seen them. They are I think the 8th most reported concern issue health in this breed. And some of them, I know with PDA, if they have a surgery, we had a dog that had a PDA probably in like 2007. And of course we gave him to a family who had the surgery because the surgery, it was going to cost the same price as the dog. So he had his surgery, he's still kicking, he's still alive. So if you catch it early enough and you are able to have the right surgery or correction done, then they can live a life just like any other dog. And that's one of the reasons why it's so important to be able to have those insurances so that you don't have to stress over this type of stuff. Because if you have to pay $3,000 for your dog to be able to run and have an active lifestyle, but you can't afford it, then what? It's pretty sad. What's the quality of life for that dog? And of course, as breeders, we do our best to try to eliminate things and be aware of what's in our lines and weed them out. But this is still a new breed, for one thing. So there's still stuff that are going to pop up that we aren't really aware of, or perfect example, Apache. But there's a lot that can go on. Not all of it is hereditary or congenital. Some of it is environmental. Some of it is ownership. I hate to be mean, but some of it is their owners, not feeding the right stuff, or not being the best pet owner. So do your part. And let's see if we could get her on.
I have to do it.
You have to do it? Wait.
Yeah, you got confused.
Oh, hold on. We're getting you on, Stacy. Maybe. Last time we had this problem. Hi. Remember, this is our problem last time. Just hit it on guest 1.
Nope, like that.
Ah.
But I have to get rid of this.
Oh, why? Hi, guys.
Oh, hang on. That's why you can't do it that way.
Okay, well, just put it on 1. Guest 1.
Guest 1 doesn't work. Guest 1 is the fake picture.
How are you?
I'm good. Sorry, I look like a mess. I just got off work.
That's okay. I haven't shared anything with anybody except for the donation thing I did, but I haven't talked about you yet. I wanted to wait until you got here. So hopefully everybody is on here. For those of you who don't know, this is Stacy and Apache. Apache was one of the last puppies that went home like 10 days ago, something like that, and then was in the hospital for 7 days, and now he is home. So we're super excited to see him and share a little bit about his story and what happened, because we both, Stacy and I, feel it's super important to make you guys as aware as we can of things that you should be on the lookout for, because this was a pretty scary situation, and we're very, very thankful and fortunate that Stacy actually works for a hospital, but that doesn't mean it's free. But I want you to share some things, you know, that maybe you think is important for other people to hear on what you saw, what was going on.
Yeah. So, so we got him on Monday. Hey, good buddy. He's like, get me out of here. So we got him on Monday, and then Tuesday, well, Monday he didn't eat, which was kind of understandable. New puppy, new environment, things like that. He ate at your house, so we were fine with that. Tuesday rolled around, and he ate a little bit of kibble in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, but then around dinner time, wasn't interested in food. And then, you know, he was sleeping a lot. It wasn't like normal puppy where, yeah, they do sleep a lot, but his was like he was up for 5 to 10 minutes, and then he was knocked out for hours. So that's when I texted Desiree, and I asked her, you know, like, is this normal? Like, because he also vomited the treat that he had been eating, the Star Mark ball that you had recommended. So I was kind of concerned about that. And, you know, I couldn't entice him with eating canned food. He ate a little bit of chicken, you know, nothing too crazy. And that's when, you know, bless you, met me halfway from my house and took him for the night, tried to get him to eat. And then he ate at your house. He was playing with the dogs. Like, he was acting a little bit more like himself. And then it came to the next day when you let me know that he didn't eat. So then you came down to my hospital. I work at an emergency specialty, so, you know, they take on cases where it's like internal medicine cases and neurology cases and things like that. And we came to the ER, and we did, you know, the typical thing that we would do for dogs who aren't eating and vomiting. We gave an anti-nausea, a Pepsid to help the stomach, and then some subcutaneous fluids just in case he hadn't been drinking and he was dehydrated. I took him home, and he slept for 5 hours. And I was, you know, really concerned because, you know, he should have woken up at some point. And so when I took him to go back onto his pee pad to go potty, he like laid over and just didn't want to do anything. He was sleeping. And so then I put him in his water dish like in front of it, and he still fell over and went back to sleep. So that's when I let Desiree know. I was like, hey, I'm going to the hospital, like something's not right. And you agreed. You're like, let's take him in. And then from there, that's when everything started happening. He was in the hospital for 7 days. And you know, all his blood work came back normal at first. You know, just the regular things that they would find. We did an ultrasound, and we didn't see that he had a liver shunt with something with this breed is common in. And he was just sleeping, and he wouldn't eat. I'm looking at him, sorry. He's just hanging out. So, you know, I was worried that, you know, something else was wrong. We did hospitalize him. We placed a feeding tube because he wasn't eating, and supplemented his feeding from there. And then we couldn't rule out that he possibly had an infection or, you know, some kind of disease. We immediately thought maybe it's parvo. So we did 2 parvo tests while he was in the hospital, both came back negative. As well as his blood work, when you have parvo, you see a high white blood cell count, and he did not have that. It was normal. So moving forward throughout the week, every day the doctors do rounds just to make sure, what the cases are that are in-house. And he popped up, and internal medicine doctor, Dr. Green, he was like, you should run a thyroid panel, like, just to see, because he's sleeping a lot, he's not eating, they are symptoms, but you just don't know. So we ran it. We ran a T4, which is just your standard thyroid test, and it came back low. But in puppies, you actually see a low T4 when they're sick. So wasn't possibly true, but it couldn't be ruled out. So we ran a special test for thyroid, and there's 2 different types of tests within it. So you have your TSH, which is the thyroid stimulating hormone that your thyroid produces, and then after that you have a free T4, which is what your blood carries the thyroid hormone around. And so we got the TSH back, and it was low, but of course he's a puppy, so it could be just low just because he's sick. But normal puppies have a high TSH. So that's when they're like, okay, well, he is sick, but we don't know why. Then we got the free T4 back, and it was abnormally low. And, with a puppy that's sick and an abnormal, you just kind of have to think, well, maybe he does have it. So that's when we put him on levothyroxine, which is a man-made drug that actually mimics the thyroid hormone. And every day since then, he has just been perking up more and more. And I took him home. We started weaning him off feedings and stuff, and he was eating, and he was doing really well. And I took him home on Tuesday, and I kid you not, as soon as I put him on the floor, he was doing zoomies, he was running around, like it was like the greatest thing of his life. And every day it's just been so much better. And today we woke up and he ate all his food within a timing manner. He wasn't being a slowpoke about it. He pooped, he peed, he played around, and he's been with my boyfriend all day today, and he's been playing nonstop all day, like limited amount of sleep. It's like night and day. So, he still has a long way to go, because the things that could potentially happen, he could have stunted growth, so he can have dwarfism. He can have, there's an issue where it can cause his head to be a little too big for his body, so it's kind of like hydrocephalus, water in your brain, but he wouldn't have it. It's just his skull's really big. And then, we can also see mental disabilities, so just delayed learning capabilities and things like that.
And with this type of thyroid, which is like they call it a congenital or juvenile, it's something that is like super rare, right? Can you tell them?
So when we were talking about this is normally something that you see in adult dogs. But when you have congenital hypothyroidism and you try to find out in a puppy, there are no cases on it, because puppies don't usually make it because they're euthanized because people think they have other issues. We thought he had distemper, and Desiree, being such a responsible breeder that you are, was like, he can't have it. I cleaned my house, hasn't gone anywhere, and I believed, but it was just like we were running out of ideas. And so when we did look into it, and it made more sense because he was responding to the levothyroxine. This is such a rare case that I was talking to I work under a radiologist because I'm an imaging technician at the hospital, and he said, I've been in the practice for 40 years. I read it in a textbook, and that was the last time I've ever heard of it. So, it's something like that you don't have cases, they don't have articles. You can read about it, but you don't have, like, these 100 puppies showed this, and it's because it's so expensive to work on getting to that point to actually diagnose it. And it was very expensive. And, I'm very blessed to be working at the hospital that I do, because I was able to just do whatever we needed to do to just focus on getting him better. And, now he's here and he's doing great.
Yeah, it was definitely a scary situation. It was a roller coaster for Stacy and for David and for me. And like, you want to talk about, all we did was research and look up, and I posted on breeder boards, not even Klee breeder boards, but just anybody to try to give us a direction, because we didn't know. And yes, Stacy's right, they thought it was going to be a virus, like distemper or something. And in my heart of hearts, I knew that there's just no way. I realized they have to cross off all the, they have to go through the motions. But during all of that, it's like we still don't know what is it, and he's fading, and then he's falling over, and it was just such a scary situation. And definitely he fell into the right family and the right arms, because for sure, if it would have been anybody else who didn't have a pet insurance for their puppy, he wouldn't be here. And one thing that I haven't shared with anybody is his sister. The next day, his sister was hospitalized as well, and she did not make it. So 2 puppies in this litter were sick. And just to be clear, when they came and picked the puppy up, he was running around. He seemed fine. He seemed fine from before he left here, but he went home, new environment, new everything, and maybe the stress is what triggered that. We don't know, because it's such a rare thing that we don't really see. Now, we did order a necropsy for his sister, but it's about 3 weeks before we'll know anything. And I have never bred these 2 dogs together before. This is the first time. So we don't know, is this really something that's that rare? And yet we got 2 puppies that have it. There's a lot of questions still. Hopefully we get answers, and all of this will determine if either one of these dogs will stay in our breeding program, because it's not something that I would ever want to put on a puppy or another family just to risk. It's just not worth it. And that's what responsible breeding is all about. I mean, it sucks that we have to go through all of this to learn something, but hopefully we can learn from it and move forward. And so once we do get all of that information on the necropsy for his sister, then of course, we'll be able to dig a little deeper and really figure out what's going on. And the truth is, we really don't know for sure that it's the same. A lot of it seemed the same thing. Their family called and said she's not wanting to eat, sleeping a lot. Is that normal? And I knew instantly, is like, okay. And so I ended up taking her to the same hospital, but it was a day later, so she just didn't. She probably just didn't get to the hospital fast enough. But to be fair, when she came here, I sent Stacy a video, and she gobbled up all this food, and she was playing. And just like Apache, when he got here, at first it's like that excitement of, oh, I'm home, and play. And we have video of Apache that night barking and growling and jumping on the dogs, like totally normal. But then 2 minutes later, he's like so exhausted and just kind of rolls over and goes to sleep. And that's what his sister did. So his sister did very similar stuff, but she started having seizures.
Yeah, and I did read, because obviously, like, we've been doing a ton of research, and I did read that, like, one of the rarest part of that with the congenital hypothyroidism is potentially seizures too. So whether it's this thing or not, like, a lot of their symptoms match up, but.
Yeah, exactly. So crazy that if this really is that, and that they both had it. And if it is truly that, and we won't know for a while on Apache because he's still really young, so they can't really say for sure that it is, but most likely it is, because that's what's working for him. And so we're just, whatever's working is what we're going with. But if in fact it is, and we had 2 puppies that have this, that's kind of a scary thing because I can guarantee you I won't be the first one or the last. I mean, it's going to happen more, which is really sad and scary. So that's another reason why it's super important to do as much as you can to figure out the problem, because like I was telling Stacy, as hard as it is to have to say goodbye to one, we were hoping that she could save the other by letting us know what it was. And if that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. Because we have to weed it out. Like, we have to make sure that no other puppies go through this and no other families go through this, At least do our best to try to prevent it.
Yeah, and I think as a respectable breeder, you did that. And like I keep telling you, and we're so blessed for you doing everything you can in your power, regardless of, like if we had lost them both, it would have been really difficult. But you made the sacrifice of having to lose one, and and figuring out for your breeding program as well for the future Klee to know what's going to happen, or was this just because of just breeding these 2 together and not breeding them again, or what have you. But at least we were able to save one and possibly get answers from another, and then see how he thrives through the next, and maybe make some more knowledge on if this is something that we will see in future Klee and later down the road. But
yeah, exactly.
I know you have beat yourself up a little for it, and David and I, we always keep saying how grateful and how appreciative of how much you cared. And I know it's your job, but I think you take it more as a passion, and you really do care about these dogs. And I really want people to know that it's not just, it's not just a business for you. Like, you genuinely care.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it's my life, and it's my choice. Like, obviously, this is something that is my passion and I like to do, but I want the passion to always bring joy. I don't want it to, have heartache. But that's just a reality. That's part of life as a breeder. And I get to see him tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Yeah, you get to see him. He does go-go boots. If anyone can see them. So all 4 legs of his, I don't know if you can see it. They're all shaped. All of them.
Oh my God. He's part poodle.
Yeah. He's setting a trend.
Oh, he's been through the ringer, but he's doing well. He's recovering. Stacy sends me videos and pictures, and so I get to see how well he's doing. So anyways, I'm sharing all of that with all of you guys because it's super important, and it was just crazy. Last week we were supposed to be doing the live stream on health and pet insurance, and all of this went down, and I was just like, there's just no way I can function. I literally spent every second researching and talking to her, and it was just, what a coincidence that all of this comes up at the same time. So a perfect example of if this were to happen to a puppy that you took home from us and you signed up for that the day before or the day of, and Jacob, you're still on here, so hopefully you'll chime in, but my understanding is that would be covered, and then once you met your deductible, depending on what it was, and in the beginning, if it was that soon, it would have been $250 instead of $7,800, and still not being done. Like, he still has to get retested soon. He may have to be on medication for the rest of his life. There may be other issues that come up from that. And of course, as a breeder, I'll actually, Jacob, can you just confirm it would be covered, correct?
Yeah, it would be. I'm so glad to see that Apache's doing well, and what a little cute guy he is. So sorry to hear about his sister, but glad to hear he's on the up and up. And yeah, if they if somebody who had taken, or it would be covered under our 30-day offer at the $250 deductible, and then 90% paid out after that. So
yeah. So thank you. I just wanted, everybody to see the importance now. And like I've told all of you guys for the last year now, people ask about pet insurance, and, I wasn't really one to do a lot of research on it because I wasn't covered and I can't use it. And so I never really thought of it on what was best for you guys or for them. And then after realizing what Trupanion offers for our puppy owners, and you have nothing to lose for the first 30 days. I mean, if you don't want to pay $60 or $80 or you can't afford it, then cancel it. But if it could save you $6,000 or $7,000 and save your dog's life, do you even really have to think twice? I mean, we spend $5 or $6 on a Starbucks, and so it's just crazy. But I just felt like it was super important to share. I'm very transparent. I have nothing to hide. It happens, and hopefully we can all learn from it. But we did set up a GoFundMe. I'll let you talk in a second. I kind of surprised Stacy. After I did this, I texted her and I said, hey, I hope you don't mind. But I set up a GoFundMe account for Stacy and for Apache. And of course, I made her the beneficiary. I don't want any part of that. So you'll just, so that, if it covers all of our vet bills and then some, like we don't know what's coming in the future, that would be amazing. If you guys haven't and you can support Apache and his journey, of course, we will keep you guys all posted. We would appreciate it. There's a link in the description for that. And Catherine, I see, has just put it on the chat as well. And do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. I mean, you really didn't have to do that. We were very much expected just to, I would make payments on it and it would have been fine, but we've already made so much and I am so grateful for that. So thanks. And then also, working at a specialty in emergency, he's being cute. He's like going like this with his face. So working at an emergency specialty hospital, we see a lot of people who come through with Trupanion, and it does help. I've seen cases, like he was saying earlier, like he said he's seen people have $80,000, in bills and vet bills. But I've seen cases where, people have taken, because they don't have insurance, they've taken out house mortgage loans or things on their house. I've seen someone sell their car, and you don't want it to get to that point. Like, these are things that you need, and like you said, like if you're willing to pay $90 or $30, every month, and something happens to your dog and you have to take them to an emergency facility, we're not cheap. And I will be completely honest with that. And every doctor in my facility will be honest with you. Like, just a consultation fee is $150, and it's not cheap. And then it adds up after that because you want to run blood work and you want to send it out to the lab. It's another like $300 just to do that. And hospitalization, like minimum, I think is like $400, $500 for a day. So you want to make sure that you can give everything to them and start as young as they are. Like, this was something we never anticipated, and it happened, and anything can happen. So, definitely look into Trupanion. They're one of the many people who, like, on the spot, we'll give them a call if you have Trupanion, and we'll call them, and that day they usually confirm that you have it, and we'll start covering right away.
That's good. I'm glad you shared that because you have some experience working in the hospital. Leslie's asking if there was only 2 in the litter. No, there was actually 4 puppies in the litter. Right now, the other 2 puppies are doing well. So hopefully they're good. They are aware. Well, one of them is 100% aware, and the other one just doesn't respond to me. And I'm assuming no news is good news. So they moved, they flew to Virginia, the other puppy. So I've told them what's going on, but I haven't heard back from them. And I know he's busy, so I figure no news is good news. But yeah, 4 puppies, 2 with something going on. And not, you guys just saw them the week before they were on the live. And I went back, like I told Stacy, I went back and watched the entire live because I wanted to see, did I miss something? Of course, when I'm in the room, it's hard for me to really pay a lot of attention to, did they really stumble? Were they acting weird? No, they weren't. They were fine. The videos showed everybody was fine. I just had them in the play yard. I was taking pictures of them. They were jumping up, running up the slide. They seemed 100% normal, eating. Now, I will say Apache was the slow eater, but he ate. He was slow. His sisters would try to eat his food, and so I would pull the girls after they ate, but he ate. So I had already told her he's slow to eat. Well, I didn't know slow meant, oh, I'm going to fall asleep after 2 minutes and 2 bites. Like, that's not what he was doing. So he just did this flip and just 180, totally different dog within a couple hours. Scary situation. Anyways, enough of my rambling. Oh my God. I appreciate you coming on and sharing. Can you put him up one more time, or is he asleep?
Oh yeah. No, he's not sleeping. I can see if I can get you to see him.
He's down, down, down. Oh my goodness. There. Oh, little baby.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. I'm like trying to figure out where. So yeah.
I love it.
Brain. He's being
Yeah.
a goof.
Hi,
He's very happy and content with himself.
For those of you wondering what's on his head, I asked her the same thing. Like, what is that on his head? It is ultrasound gel that won't come out.
I even tried, like, right when I got home, I tried this morning trying to pick at it, and it just get it out. And it's because we were trying to figure out if the plates on his head were appropriate, but we couldn't see it because he's too furry. So.
Thank God we didn't shave his head.
No, I would have been so mad.
Yeah. Emily's asking if Apache has an Instagram, which he does.
He does, yeah. It's a Apache_doodle_Polly. I believe, yes.
Hopefully Catherine can share that if I don't know. I think she can probably share that. But yes, he does. And so let me see if there's any other questions before we move on. Thank you guys, by the way, for the super chat, super stickers. I know we were in the middle of talking and I wasn't able to say that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think that was it. So then I will see you tomorrow.
That's good.
I appreciate you being on here. I'm gonna hop over and show them Ruse puppies. Can you see it if I switch this? Watch, let's see. Can you see that?
I can see it.
Oh, cool. Let me see. Where are the other babies? Somewhere. Oh my goodness. My daughter is not over here. Uh-oh, somebody hit my camera. Where are the babies? Hold on, I'm gonna go move them so you guys can see them better.
Oh, are you stuck? Hi. Did you see him popping? Yeah.
There.
Goodness, they're so cute.
Why are you guys way over there? Huh?
The little potatoes.
They're like, it's warm. I have the heater off of them right now. Oh, you're gonna bark at me? Oh, you're gonna bark at me? Huh? Are you gonna bark at me? Yeah, you guys gotta wake up. People wanna see you. Hi!
Cute.
Hi, baby. You tell them.
For sure.
Of course, they're all gonna go pee now.
So cute.
There. So that's Ruse puppies, of course. 3 weeks old now. And let's see if we have any questions before I'll grab them and I'll bring them up here so you guys could see them. I think we're good. Oh, good. Thank you, Catherine. Catherine put the Instagram. See, okay, so Tamara is on, guys, and that's Apache's sister. The other one. Apache was the only boy. Yeah, Sierra. What do you use to... Oh, the puppies. Lily's asking, what do we use to keep them in? So the puppies are in a plastic pool. Yeah. Oh, no, they're fine right now, honey. I'll bring them in a minute. The puppies are in a plastic pool. And... Oh my goodness. You would need to scoot back and they could see you better. My husband's gonna bring them for me to show you guys. There. But yeah, they're in a plastic pool. Let's see. Oh, I'm not sure, Catherine. You would need to, I don't want to give any advice like that. You would probably need to talk to your vet if you think something's not right with your puppy. Not yet, Lauren. No puppies yet, but she's huge. She's big. So she is due anytime. Oh, there they go. They're all boys, by the way. Carolyn's asking, do I consider Rue a dark gray and Nala a lighter gray, or is Nala going to grow dark as she grows? So Nala's not really a light gray either. She's more dark, but Rue has more browns and buff in her. So she looks totally different because of the color that she has. The puppies. The babies. Yeah, so she's still dark. Like Simba's a lot lighter, so I consider Simba a lighter gray, like Kika was. And then Nala's darker. So these are Jet's brothers. They're just starting to move around and get active and obviously vocal. You want to hand one to me now, honey, and I'll show you guys. I'll put them up close, although they're playing right now, but that's okay. I muted you. That's better now. You don't have to worry about it, Stacy. Okay, let's see. Hi, baby. Hi, baby. Hi. Let me switch this. You guys can see. Which one do I want? No, not that. Hold on. I gotta find the right one. What do I want? This one. I want this one. Why are you running? It's a chicken. I need the light. This one is Whoopsie, guys. He's the one that was born in my bed. Little Whoopsie. They look really light because of the coloring. But I have to bring them up close so you guys could see their eyes. So this is the one born in our bed. Can you give me the next one? My husband doesn't want to come over here. Right now he's the smallest. Huh? You're the smallest. You're the smallest. Hi. Say hi. I used a different camera over there, so that's why you guys don't,
Take one?
Yeah, because I don't have the sound over there. But I don't have to worry about it. Okay, and another. Let's see. Which one is this? Oh, this is the lightest one. All right, so here's the lightest one. Are you looking at yourself? Huh? So I don't know if you guys could tell, but his eyes are not as bright. I think he has a blue and a party eye, but I'm not too sure yet because he's still kind of young. And then the last one. Wow, the light really makes it look light in here. And he is the darkest of the three. Can you look that way? He's the one who looks the most like Rue and Jet. Okay, thank you, honey.
You're welcome.
All right, there. You guys happy now? Let's see if they're gonna keep playing. We'll put them on there. Oh, look at those three brats.
Oh my gosh.
I saw you guys asking about Nala, and when I would know, and I don't get to do ultrasound for a couple more weeks, so a couple weeks, and then hopefully we'll know if she conceived. She was kind of grumpy, so maybe she is pregnant. We'll see. I think that's all. And then will be baby dark. So there's one that's darker than the others. You could see now that they're playing. This one that's in the face, his back's towards us, is the darkest. And then the one born in the bed, which is the smallest one, is right behind him as far as darkness. And then the one all the way on the right by the toys is the lightest. Where are you guys going? So they're not going to be super dark, but one is going to be darker than the others, especially the face. You could tell from the face. Which one's the talker? Right now, no one stands out. They're all pretty vocal. They're just learning all about their vocalness, so it's still kind of early to tell. I haven't even figured out which one's in charge yet. They're all boys and they're all gray, so I'm sure they're all battling for it, as you could tell. And the biggest one, I don't know because I haven't weighed them this week, but last week it was the darkest one. But I'll weigh them tomorrow. That's okay, Lindsay. That's okay. So the last one that, no, the second one that I showed you guys, he's the lighter one. That one that's coming to us right now, that's the lighter one. And he won't be a super light. Like Simba was really, really like almost white. He's not that light, but he's still pretty light. Wow, what did you guys think? Was that some good information? The little babies.
Those are standards, right? They're going to be standards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they're still passed out sleeping. Where's River? Oh, he's over there. I have to do all this myself, so I'm trying to see what you guys are saying at the same time. There he is.
Knocked out.
Yeah, they're tired. All right, so what is she saying? If they're lighter as babies, do they tend to stay lighter as adults? So they will definitely get darker as they get their adult coat in. So they usually shed that puppy coat between 3 and 4 months, and then they'll have that darker coat. In fact, River is the little buff looking one right now in the bed, and he was really light, but he's already changing a lot. His markings are starting to really come in. So they'll change a lot. They'll still tend to be a little bit lighter than some of the darker grays, but a lot of the buff goes away most of the time. Do Klee Kai get along with cats? A lot of Klee Kai live with cats, so I don't think you have to worry too much about that. If you're getting a puppy, you should be able to get a cat and a dog. You're welcome, Lindsay. I thank you guys all really for jumping in, and especially for supporting Apache in this whole situation and just craziness that we're learning about. But Kira's asking if we can go over allergies. We have a problem with our koa. So there's a lot of allergies that are food related. And so there's actually some testing that can be done. I was asking Jacob just earlier if it's covered, but it is not. But there's a saliva test that you can do to actually find out what allergies or sensitivities your dog has to certain foods, which is super important whenever you are dealing with this, if you're trying to weed it out, because a lot of times you'll see these dogs that have the watery eyes and we're all asking why, and they don't have a clogged tear duct, or they don't have a problem with like their eyelashes growing inwards and that type of thing. So what is it? So trying to weed it all out. Allergies could be food related. It could be the weather, but it could be other things too. So it just really depends. You got to start with weeding them out one at a time. Unfortunately, it's usually not a quick answer. They're finally going to go back to sleep now. So let's see what else. Will River be a light gray? No, he's not going to be super light. Simba was way lighter than him. I'll put it back on here for you guys. So Simba was lighter than River, and he'll stay lighter than River will. River's going to get darker. Yeah, so when they blow that puppy coat, the soft fuzz all disappears, and then they really start to get a little more coarser, and the reds do change a lot like the grays, especially the lighter reds. If they're a dark red, then they're not going to change as much. The lighter reds do change more. What else? Thank you guys for the support. I think that's it. You guys did awesome. That's it. That's all I got for you. I think that was plenty. If you can do it early, it's just a swab test. So you could probably do it pretty early, but if you want to know for sure, it might be better. I don't know for sure, Sean, but I think it might be better if they're a little bit older, so that they've already had some foods to know. I don't know if they can tell if they have never had that food. That's a good question. I should ask Miss Dr. Dodds. It's not that expensive either. By the way, guys, just so you guys all know, since all of this went down, my husband and I started looking into Embark. And Embark is a DNA and genetic test kit that we're going to start doing on the dogs. And so it will track and give us potentially like 270 markers for diseases, so that we are able to start seeing, do our dogs have these markers for certain diseases, so that we can try to eliminate certain dogs breeding together, because if they are a carrier for a specific thing like thyroid, maybe they don't have symptoms and they don't actually present it themselves, but if they both carry it, then maybe that's what is causing this to happen with this last litter. So it will be good to start doing that, which is my plan. And then hopefully we'll know a little bit more, but we want to start doing that, which will be fun and cool to see all the stuff that they can see and tell us. So it's not only the DNA, so it'll do their DNA, it'll do their coat color, their hair length, it'll tell us if they should have blue eyes, if they have the red gene, if they have the white gene. So a lot of testing that we already do, but this comes with way more. So it'll be really nice to start doing that as part of our process and hopefully avoid things. in the future. Lindsay's wanting to know what Angel looks like. She's black and white, and she's blue-eyed. And if I would have thought about it, I would have grabbed a picture from my other computer, but I did not. So I'm not gonna announce that on here, Tanya, just for the public, because I don't need everybody in my business right now. Once we get everything handled and we know what's going on, I will share that, and of course I'll be reporting it to ACOA. But just because it's a public forum, and I have some haters in my life, I'm just not gonna say that right now. But Diamond's good. You haven't seen her in 2 weeks because she's not here. She left to go breed, but she'll be back probably this weekend. So, yeah. Oh, so Kelly got the allergy test for Nolan. Okay, so that's good. Yeah, that's I believe that's what I saw the price was too, was about $100. The Embark is a little bit more, but do you know, hopefully Kelly's back on here. Oh, she said Easy DNA is the one she used. Okay, so there's also one from HemoPet, and I will, once I get all of the information, I'll share that with you guys. But HemoPet is a company here in Garden Grove, and they have a kit that you can do. So, yeah. Have you ever had clear black puppies? No. So, Lily, we try to follow the breed standards, and so for Alaskan Klee, they are supposed to have certain markings and a mask and not be one solid color. So they should have contrasting color, and so no, we don't get pure black. We do, however, get pure white. We try not to get too many pure whites because they are a fault in our breed as far as the color goes, because they do not have a mask, but it still happens. Sometimes I take that chance just because I'm trying to get something specific, and I get a white instead. All right. Look at that. It's already 7:52. I'm thinking that's it. You guys have any other questions? Stacy?
What?
Do you have any other questions?
I don't have questions. Does anybody have questions about Apache? That's pretty much it for me.
Okay. I think that's
He's
it
been
too.
just running around with his bully bones, so.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's see. What about you, Jacob? How are you? You have any questions? You're still on here?
Yeah, I'm still here, just enjoying looking at all the dogs and the puppies. But thank you so much again for having me on. Glad to get out there and share the information. So if any questions come up, don't hesitate to reach out. And then I hope we can still get the information for the one person who said they're still waiting on a call back from Trupanion, so we can make sure they get a call and get all that taken care of.
Yeah, that was Tamara. So Tamara sent me an email. If you guys haven't already done so, please take a second and hit that thumbs up for us. And we are here every Thursday, usually, unless there's an emergency. And from 6 to 8 p.m. On the live and talking to everybody and answering questions and different topics. So make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already and you are wanting to join us in the future. But give us a thumbs up, and I appreciate all of your guys' support and super chat and super stickers. I guess that's it. We're going to call it a night. Oh, wait, I have one more question. Sorry. Who are the dogs on the screen now, and how much do each of them weigh? Well, it's kind of funny. Where's River? Is he all the way buried?
He's over here in the corner.
Oh, so the one on the ground is Nala. She's 11 pounds and almost 2 years old. She is my tiniest of tiny. And then Kira is only 5 or 6 months, 5 months, I think. She's inside the bed. You can barely see her, but she actually, we just weighed them. She weighs about 4 ounces more than Nala. She's almost 11 and a half ounces. 11 pounds, 11 and a half pounds. I guess I should have said that. And then Little River is no longer in the scene, but he's only a baby. He's 3.5 months and a little over 6 pounds. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys again, and I think that's it. I'm ready to call it a night. Thank you, Stacy, for jumping on here and sharing your story. Thank you, Jacob, so much for sharing all of that stuff. Tamara, make sure you reach out to me. And until next time, bye, guys.